Struggling to navigate all the new animes coming out? Don't know which ones to watch, skip, or give a chance? In this video I'll be discussing the Fall Anime 2022 season that just began to give a rundown of the expectations I have for it. I'm a bit late since it just started pretty much, but I still want to talk about it anyways. This will be slightly different from the last one I did for summer just so I can get it out on time. We'll mostly be looking at the season as a tier list, so if you like it more or less than the previous one, let me know. So how is the tier list set up? It's split into question mark for shows I've either never heard of or seen talked about often, as well as a cover image that doesn't interest me. Next is not interested, which is mostly reserved for animes that I've lost interest in or given up on, and potentially even shows that have had some hype around them but don't appeal to me. Then we have mid, which are shows that I expect to be very average, self-explanatory. Before finishing the tier list is give a chance, which are shows I don't really have an opinion of but could potentially be good. Now the highest tier finishing up the list is much watch, which are shows I feel like I absolutely can't skip this season, whether that's due to how good the previous seasons of the show were, the hype surrounding the show, or the connection to previous IPs. Since I started the tier list explanation from the bottom, I'll start the shows from the top. The first anime is Chainsaw Man. The hype around this anime has been pretty wild and I've been interested in it for a while. I believe when Giga first talked about it was when I initially heard about it. So I just want to give a little example. In the current day, Tokyo Ghoul is not looked at in a good light, but was a massive cultural icon and important gateway anime for many fans. Without really knowing that much about Chainsaw Man, I'm hoping for that same level of impact and a violent, gory show that we haven't really seen in a while. I feel like Bleach has become really disrespected lately, with before the season even beginning, people retconning the significance of the show before the sequel, and going so far as to say Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen are already better than the entirety of Bleach. This type of unnecessary fighting just pushes people into either feeling the need to become overly protective of an anime they like, or put off even giving the anime a shot because of the fan base. I'm looking forward to the sequel of one of the greatest shonens getting the long-awaited return to finish off Bleach with a bang, and I hope all the negativity, bickering, and whatnot doesn't really hurt this season. Next is Spy Family Part 2. In a previous video I've talked about this show, so I won't spend too much time here, but I'm very excited to see more episodes so quickly for this show. This is such a great anime to decompress after a long day with wholesome and silly episodes. Now let's talk Mob Psycho 100's third season. This anime time and time again has delivered an exceptional series without betraying the identity or sacrificing character buildup. Each character is unique with their own problems and goals, not just cast aside after fulfilling their role in a part of the story. I can only hope that the previous levels of animation and storytelling makes its return, because honestly there are very few shows that can compete with the highs Mob Psycho has displayed in the past. Golden Kamuy delivers a story that very few animes can even compare to in similarity, and with the fourth season I'm expecting much of the same. I mean, how many shows around the time of the Russo-Japanese War? How many people even knew what that was? As a Westerner, I had little prior knowledge of the time period, and this show makes for a fun fictional crash course to learn more about it. So To Your Eternity's second season is here. For those that missed out on the first season, it's time to get caught up. If you're looking for a show that explores what it means to be human and how humanity can do some of the worst and best things, even as an objectively good or bad person, then this is the anime for you, and Fushi is the guide for this tale. It's unlikely you went through your anime journey without hearing of or at least having one Mobile Suit Gundam series be recommended to you. This IP has consistently put out bangers for something like 4 decades, so even without knowing anything about it, I feel confident saying The Witch from Mercury is a must watch this season. There have been some concern with the show since episode 1 had issues with subtitles on Crunchyroll. Hopefully this doesn't put too many people off the show. Now on to the next tier, animes to give a chance. Shinobi no Ittoki looks like it'll either be a decent show or really cringe. I thought the cover image and name seemed interesting enough, so that's why it's here. The Eminence and Shadow has a lot of hype and interest in the show, which is intriguing enough. The thing with these fantasy or isekai animes is that a lot of the time the majority fall into being bad or mid, and very few end up being great shows. It's worth a shot, but I'm not expecting to be wowed. Reincarnated as a sword falls into the same category, only with a little less eyes on it, so same opinion as before. Last thing to give a chance is Arknights animation, Prelude to Dawn. Name and cover image seem cool enough. I don't know anything about the game that it's based on outside of it being a gacha game. Maybe I'll be impressed with the anime, we'll just have to see. The next tier is mid. To be honest, I don't want to spend too much time talking about these shows, so I'll say all of them look very generic and don't offer anything unique. Since it's somewhat popular, I'll address my base impressions of I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. It just appears to be another copy of My Next Life as a Villainess, which I have watched and found to be mid. A lot of the characters were one-dimensional and seemed to only be created to fawn over the main character without adding much, and I expect the same here. I'm aware mid-anime can be a heated topic, but the next tier will cause some fans to start frothing at the mouth. The not interested tier. As I said earlier in the video, a lot of this just comes down to losing interest, it not being appealing, or being disappointed with it. Starting with a show that isn't really popular and leaving me disappointed is My Hero Academia with its 6th season. I tried to like this show and did for a while, but it became evident in the 3rd season that this anime was going off a cliff, and that's what happened in the 4th season. Since then I don't have interest starting up something that I believe is bad. Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun and myself, for whatever reason, never really connected in the 1st season, even when I had friends saying that it was good, so I'll be skipping the 3rd season. The 2nd season of Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out has arrived, and I'm not interested. This isn't because I have something against the anime or anything like that, I just never got around to watching the 1st season. At some point I'll need to take some time and go back, but for now, I'm just interested in other shows. Blue Lock. Well, it just comes down to not watching sports animes. I don't know why, but the genre isn't it for me, and I'd rather watch a basketball game or a pro game of League of Legends. This is a skip for me, but I know it'll be a must watch for those that like this genre. Pop Team Epic Season 2 is here, and it had a pretty fun first season from what I've seen. I don't remember why, but the anime went on hold for me, and I haven't felt like going back and finishing it. This is something I'm just not interested in. KanColle is getting another season. Have no idea what this show even is, or what it's about, so I can't be interested in a 2nd season. Another Berserk show, and the cover image alone halts me in my tracks, as well as the trailer. I saw Berserk 2016, and this just looks like more of the same nightmare-inducing CGI. Is it too much to ask for a good adaptation? Please. Whoever has the rights to adapt it for television, just sell it. Outsource it. Something so I can have nightmares about the Berserk material instead of the animation. And the last for this tier is Peter Grill Season 2. Just more smut for clicks, I guess. If this is your thing, I can't really stop you, and there's obviously an audience for it, but the effort would go a long way on a different series. I don't know, maybe like I just mentioned with Berserk? Just me, I guess. Well, that ended off a bit heated. With that, this is the final tier, ? Unfortunately, these don't have a heightened level of appeal or hype for either what it's being adapted from or a previous season. No flame. Anyone that's a fan of one of these shows, I just don't know or see anything interesting with the name or cover art. If you're a fan of one of them and want more people to watch it, drop a reason why in the comments below, and maybe your words will inspire someone to check it out. There might even be shows that were added after I was grabbing all the images earlier for the tier list and not presented here. It's nearing the end of the video, so closing out, I'll give my overall expectations for the Fall Anime 2022 season. It feels cringe saying it after titling an entire video before as a legendary season and it not panning out as well, but I'm doubling down, double or nothing. This will be one of the best anime seasons in a long while. The top end shows with massive amounts of popularity have shown the source material in previous seasons are some of the greatest of all time, or on track to be, and have a high amount of confidence in them succeeding. If that pans out and each of my must-watch shows ends up being rated a 10+, I can confidently say that at least for me this would be a top 5 season. Anything that comes out solid would further convince me of how stacked the lineup was. If you enjoyed the video, like it and comment something you agreed with or disagreed with.